ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another mental health check. As you can see, we are a little bit festive today because we are talking about the holidays. What happens during the holidays? We have family, we have friends, we have commitments, we have expectations, some of them self-imposed, some of them that we take on from other people, and some of them are even assumptive that we expect other people to think about us that's not really there because we never take the time to confirm those. And so, as always, Kimberly Smith is here to give us some realistic ways and tangible ways to both think and act on those, and see how we can actually make it through the holidays without digging ourselves a 6-foot grave. Okay? So, Kimberly, what would you like to start with today?
Yeah, Travis, thank you. I think as we go into this extremely busy holiday season in what has been a very unprecedented year, right? Just being aware of what's going to be headed our way, right? So, like you said, this time of year comes with a lot of expectations, and we kind of try and have this really great attitude, and we start off on this wonderful foot of, wow, this is going to be great, and I love the holidays, and it's going to be amazing. But then, I've seen myself and my friends and my family go from, it's a wonderful life to this sucks, right? Why did I do this? I'm not going to that party. I'm not dealing with your mother-in-law, right? So really just kind of being realistic and thinking about some of these possible triggers as we head into this time, right? So
Right.
when I say triggers, I mean, I'm talking about creating that perfect Pinterest holiday, right, for our family. I mean,
Uh,
that is you're setting yourself up for some real disappointment if you want your centerpieces and your Christmas tree to look just like Macy's, right?
mm,
So that, decorating the outside of the house, Christmas cards, planning just the day of events with, complex family dynamics, that can be really tricky.
mhm.
Um, Travel arrangements, of course, now in this COVID climate, we're thinking differently, we're traveling differently, we're gathering differently,
Mhm.
you know, cooking, baking, meal preparation, right? Our culture has this like expectation of this big meal and, just it's insane. Um, and just spending a lot of money too, right, on all of the things, decor, presents, cards, like all the postage. I mean, it adds up. Before we know
It
it,
does.
we have not only stressed ourselves out, but we also have maxed out our credit cards too, right? I mean,
Mm,
that is, January comes and people, get their credit card bill and they've got serious buyer's remorse, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And also just hosting gatherings, right? That puts a lot of pressure on people to have their family of 50 over, all the cousins and, spouses and children and everybody, and then, any type of work holiday obligations you might have. Of course, this year might be different when it comes to that, but that's a long list of things that we have to deal with.
That was a
And
long list of things. I'm trying to even process everything you just mentioned, and I can think
I
of
feel stressed out already.
at least 15 movies that were a great reference point for each of those. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
We've all seen Christmas Vacation. I think that, ties it up pretty nicely right there. And there's a one liner there, and it's like, I don't know, Ellen, it's Christmas and we're all miserable, right? Like it's just before we know it, we've kind of, slid down the slope into this low place. But there are ways to avoid that too. So in terms of avoiding all of
Yes.
that,
So how do we counteract some of the stressors? How do we not take things so personally? How do we make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success instead of failure with our own mental health, with our own anxiety? Because it's contagious.
it is.
It's going to spark somewhere. It's going to snowball, right? So what does that look like?
Sure. Well, first, it's really a commitment to yourself, to do things differently, right? I mean, this year has been different on so many levels in so many ways, and that starts with our mindset and our expectations of what's to come, right? And I get it. I love the holiday season myself. I'm recently divorced over the last couple of years, and I've had to really reimagine my holidays and what the family dynamics look like. And, everybody's peaceful and friendly, but it still is different. COVID's made things differently too. So,
Right.
number one, permission to lower the bar, right? Like all of those expectations. Like I used to love doing the Christmas cards. I don't do them every year, right? I've kind of I adhere to the belief now that every year is going to be different. There are going to be years where I have the energy, the time, the capacity for all the things, and there are going to be years where maybe I only do 5 of the things that are on that big laundry list, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
how do we prioritize some of those things?
Sure. Well, and that kind of leads me to my next one, which is really
Okay.
open communication with your family and with your friends, right? So whoever you spend the holidays with, I think that really sharing with them, hey, this holiday season, I want it to be a little simpler, a little bit more low key. This is what I'm hoping for, right? And trying to really get other people on board with you, right? If you're looking to have that buy-in and to have that support from them, having those real conversations just about, maybe the limits that you have with gift exchange and the, financial constraints that you may or may not have, the ability to host events or attend events, right? Like,
Right.
of course, we're in COVID, so your holiday gatherings should be 10 or less. But that's just, one of them. I think communication is key. If you want to change things, you have to be committed to yourself. You have to
Okay.
think about really what you want this holiday season to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little brainstorming, jot some things down. What are the things that you really love to do around the holidays? And what are the things from that big list that I mentioned that, are okay, but they don't really bring you joy?
Right. And so start just whittling them off one by one until
Yeah,
you find something that's manageable. Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So what should our next takeaway be?
Sure. I also think that boundaries are big with family, right? This kind of goes along with open communication, but you know, there's a lot of people out there who have trouble with their in-laws. They have this big party, their in-laws come over, and then their mother-in-law, criticizes everything that they've done, right? Um, Really setting the limits of, hey, I'm hosting this year. I know that you like things a particular way, but in the past, when you come over and you tell me that things are not up to your part, that doesn't make me feel good. So if you have comments, I need you to keep them to yourself, right? Or setting limits around talking politics at the dinner table, right? I mean,
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do.
yeah, I mean,
But
or
you have
just
to do
saying,
it
hey,
nicely.
if y'all are coming over, we're not doing politics at the dinner
Yep.
table, right? We're not talking about that at all, right? Just avoiding that and setting that limit. Also, it is a tough conversation, but many of us have that, cousin or great uncle or great aunt or whoever that has a tendency to have one too many hot toddies and too many drinks around the fireplace, and things can kind of go downhill from there. So if there is somebody like that that tends to cause a ruckus because of drinking too much, those are conversations that should happen ahead of time,
Right.
just to set the foundation, set the expectation, and so that you can not stress about what's going to happen.
Good points. Good points.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing, Travis, is really, I think, reimagining the entire day. Like I said, our culture really sets this precedent for this big meal and all the things, and just finding ways to simplify. And hey, maybe you just do appetizers. Maybe you do a pizza party and then do some fancy desserts, right? Or a pajama party or a game night with friends and family. Throw a theme in there, or take it outside, do a picnic or do a camping trip. Your holidays don't have to look like they did in any year before, and they don't have to look like anybody else's holidays. This is your time to relax and celebrate however you want.
Okay. There's a lot of things to think about here.
There are.
And so we have to take those, and part of just keeping ourselves sane through that entire season is taking these in bite-sized chunks. So you've given us several different steps. And here it's currently early November. We have time to set up for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Festivus, whatever you at home or watching online celebrate with your family. There's still time to put all these things into place. And so you can have a holiday season without losing your mind and losing your hair and losing your friends and losing your family and becoming that uncle or somebody who has a few too many around the fireplace because you're trying to self-medicate, like
Sure.
some of us do. Anyway, so thank you for the tips, Kimberly. Let's just, for everyone watching, just take those first steps just to be aware of the season and start just kind of honing in on those expectations. Because being aware of it is the first step to setting proper expectations for yourself and everyone else around you, right? And then as Kimberly, as you mentioned, there's ways that we can combat those stressors. There's ways that we can prioritize those different things. And communicating and setting boundaries and all those is really a staged process. So don't wait till it's too late. Go ahead and get started now. And yes, set that expectation for your budget as well. All right. All right, Kimberly, thank you very much for giving us through the holiday season. I hope everybody has a nice ugly sweater, something that they can at least celebrate. Go Stros, hometown boy here. I love it. I love it. So thank you for getting us through the holidays, and we will definitely be back with some more new content here in the next few weeks, getting us through the holidays with not only being able to deal with the stressors, but also putting on the right mindset to do that with. All right. So everybody, just remember, take a break, get your mental health check done, and see where you are, and then we can make some adjustments based on that. All right. Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Yeah.